What did you love about having animals around?
I just was an animal lover, have been. We've always had a dog when I was little.
What was the name of your first dog?
Oh boy. It's a bulldog, I know. I can't think what his name was.
So what color was it?
White?
A white bulldog?
Yeah.
No spots?
You know, I was too little, I don't remember. I was only like about 5 or 6 at that time.
Mm.
I can remember we had a black Scottish dog, and I don't, you know, their names are just, they're gone.
Well, when you had that bulldog, were you in Santa Monica, living in Santa Monica?
No.
Okay. Do you ever remember the Santa Monica Pier? With the roller coaster and the... Okay.
I have a picture of me sitting in the old Windsor chairs, like this. My brother on one side, my sister on the other. They talked for me. My mother said I never really got a chance to talk to her. I was about 4 years old. They left me alone. And I love that.
So you had 3 brothers and sisters?
Two sisters and one sister and one brother. My brother went in the service and he did his 30 years or something like that. And he was ready to go up to a full colonel, and he was supposed to go. I can't even think what they call it, where all the top guys are anyway. They wouldn't let him go because he did not graduate. He'd worked himself up over the years. He had to go to school, you know.
You didn't graduate from high school?
No, no.
Or from college?
Oh, both of them he graduated from, but he didn't, when he got up to that far in the service, if you didn't have the education that they wanted, bye-bye.
Mm.
He was a colonel, but couldn't go any further.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. Did he fight in World War II?
Mm-hmm.
And he survived?
His buddy was killed, and he got a bullet here, but it didn't hurt him any, you know. Just it didn't go all the way through, let's put it that way. So he was lucky that way.
Mm. So he was decorated for his combat duty. Wow, that's really impressive.
And I know when he got discharged, he came here to Santa Barbara and wanted to stay here. Nobody would hire him. He was too well educated for the jobs that were available at the time.
But not well enough educated for the military.
Yeah, because he
couldn't go higher.
He didn't graduate from university. I mean, whatever they call it.
Where did he go after?
Then he went back up to he met his wife, and she was from San Francisco area. They went back up there until he passed away. My sister's still alive, though.
What does your sister do? Or what did
She
she
was
do?
a retired school teacher. She taught for 33 years before she retired
Is she here in California?
in Santa Monica.
What did you do?
You name it, I did it. I was just telling you, I went up to the university at that time in 1945 when I was up on the hill, and 4 of us went. 3 of us came back home after the first year because we said, ooh, that's too big a school. Didn't like it. So my dad said, okay, your brother and sister in UCLA? UCLA. I went there and I said, Dad, it's worse than that school up on the hill. So I quit and went to work.
What did you do first?
I worked to help the principal of one of the elementary schools. At that time, it was only the principal and somebody else to help her. So just, you know, I did whatever she couldn't do and help the kids and that kind of stuff. That was fun.
What did you do after that?
From there, my dad lost his own practice during the Depression, so he worked for Dr. Campbell, and he was sent up to San Fernando to take over the office there. So I went up there and worked for him until he passed away.
And what did you do after that?
By that time, I see I was married and had a little girl.
What was your first child's name?
Christine.
Oh, okay.
She's the one that's back in Georgia now.
Um,
They liked her. Her husband was stationed in North Carolina before they were married. And she went back to visit him. And she said, oh, I like this. But they came back out to, she was with my sister in Santa Monica, I guess. And they had their little girls out here, and then they decided they liked Georgia better, so they went back over there.
and so you had your first daughter, and you were living in San Fernando, and you were with your husband. And what kind of work were you all doing?
He was going to school, and that's when we wound up with this, moving these houses off the freeway,
What do you mean?
405.
Oh, tell us about that.
I think we moved 7 of them. Moved those, and most of them went out into the Canoga Park area because it was wide open at that time. Took them out there, built the big foundations, put on the foundations, then I get to go inside and do all the decorating.
So you're saying that when they put the freeway in, some of these houses were stuck out in the middle of the freeway area?
Yeah, they took all kinds of them away. We took 8 of them out there.
So your business was to haul whole houses? How did you do that?
No, we didn't do it. They did it for you.
Okay. So you bought the houses? And you found land for them? And then fixed them up and sold them? Aha!
And when we got through with doing that, then we built 3 apartment houses and 1, 2, 3, 4 houses in the Reseda area. And then up here we came.
Right after that. And you're bringing your kids along for the ride? 4 kids.
They went with me all the time. And the time we had, because we built that one and they used to run around and have a good time in the one down there. Then we got the Korea Hotel, and they went with me then. And at that time, the 2 younger girls were quite little. So the one that lives here, she used to go into help in the dining room and that kind of stuff. And the younger one, that's now a nurse, used to follow all the maids around. And my son, I've got a picture of him standing outside the old Korea Hotel with his big jacket on. Busboy. Escort. You name it. He was there. So we had a lot of fun with him anyway.
So you and your husband owned really one of the biggest hotels in town. And it's where the Canary Hotel, have you ever been over there? It's just down from the bus stop. You should walk in there.
3 hotels.
How did you and your husband meet?
In church. He was trying to figure out what church he wanted to go to. Because I can't remember what church his parents went to, but he was trying all the churches out in Reseda. He joined the crowd out there. Funny. He said, would you? And I said, okay. No, but you know, Ron Jacks from the Barbara Hotel, he bought that from me in 1975. Still got it. He won't give it up.
The Santa Barbara Hotel? Wow. So that was one of your hotels that you guys built also?
We had the Carrillo, and then when we sold that, we got the Barbara Hotel, and then we got the Marmani, and eventually, and when Jack came along, I wanted that one. I just had the Marmani one. And that, at that time, it wasn't as big as it is now. The new section that they added, and that one be on this side of it, it was all open field, and it had like little apartments, individual ones. I think there were 6 of them, and then in that area. And they eventually tore them all down, put the new part in there.
each time you guys would buy and sell, was it hard to sell these hotels that you guys would buy?
No,
Or
we had no problems whatsoever with any of that.
any of the buying and selling of any of
It was easy.
them?
What did I do after that?
What kind of people would stay at your hotels?
Every kind of a person traveling. All kinds of. I never met anybody special that was popular or well known, but I learned how, particularly with the Creo, you had to plug the thing in and, hello, yes, I hear you. The old time phones.
Like an intercom phone?
No, that's how you answered your phone.
Oh.
You didn't just pick it up and say hello. You had to plug it in and then answer it. You don't remember seeing those?
Are you talking about a switchboard? The plug? Oh, okay, you ran the switchboard. I see. Mm-hmm. So if you wanted to, you could hear a lot of people's conversations.
Mm-hmm. That's where I've got a picture of my son in his little jacket.
Mm-hmm.
They all went with me until I, got into school full time. They didn't seem to mind. They all turned out good, so.
How many times did you guys travel? Did you ever leave California?
Oh yeah, we used to. I can remember. I see Marcia is. What is she? 50-something. She spent her first birthday back in Washington D.C. At the time my brother was stationed back there, so we drove back and spent some time with him, and then we drove up to Canada and across and back down through Michigan. Because my husband had a couple of friends he'd been in the service with. We stopped and saw them and then came across and came back home.
What kind of car did you drive in?
Seemed to me it was a 4-door Chevy, if I'm not mistaken. A green one, I think. I gotta think back.
Nice.
Did you guys go on a lot of road trips?
Back and forth.
What do you remember the most about?
The one I liked the most was we bought a mobile home, a little 18-foot one, and we drove up to Canada through Oregon and Washington and up to that rose garden up there. I could go back there all the time. It was so gorgeous. Because other than that, our traveling was mostly going to see where the in-laws were.
Mm.
And that happened with both my husbands, because I've outlived 2 of them.
Are you talking about a garden in Vancouver?
Well, yeah, up there.
Where in?
Big, huge.
In
rose,
Canada?
yeah,
Okay.
huge rose garden.
Mm-hmm.
Just gorgeous. The prettiest thing I've ever seen in my life.
I want to see pictures.
You know that I lost them all in the 80s when we had the awful storm. We had our bar up there in Buellton, and the drain pipe somehow got clogged up because there was 2 apartments next to it, and the drain pipe got clogged up, so my bedroom was covered with water. It had gone all the way halfway up the wall.
Wow.
And we were in Michigan, I think, at the time that happened. And then I had an old, small, old tin cabinet light. It was a Reeves, what it was. It was out there full of all the baby things and my wedding gown and you name it. I lost everything out there from that storm.
Mm.
So it was a bad time to be on the vacation.
Mm. What was the name of the bar that you ran out there?
It's been so long since I thought about it, I don't know.
Did you serve drinks, or did your husband serve drinks?
No, he had his own business going. No, what we did was we bought a truck that was for the food thing. Fix all that, and he'd go out with it. He'd go out all these farming places that never would get anything. We did all the cooking back there. I never waited on anybody. I got wound up in the kitchen all the time. And I guess that bar is still there. Right across from Peace of Anderson's. On 246. There was a gas station on the corner. They tore that down, and it was a used car lot. But the building was right next to that.
Is it as you're about to get on the freeway?
Mm-hmm.
It's the hotel with a bar now. They have like a Holiday Inn or something right there.
Yeah, I haven't been up there I know they say it's been changing, but I haven't been up there.
Yeah, I've seen that. We went in that bar in the summertime.
So at the time it was there on the corner, and then our place, and then the two little houses, and then there was a small place that was one time a barber shop, and I don't know what all they had in that time.
And is that the time when you had your monkey? When you were living out there in Buellton?
What was your monkey's name?
Felix.
Felix.
And what he loved to do, he'd go out in the living room, crawl up on by the window there, and it was getting dark, and he'd pound on the window. Everybody stop out there looking around. They couldn't see him. Oh, he was funny. And if I was let him out of his cage, we had what do you call it? Where you put the stove, and there's an eating place right next to it. And he'd get up there and he'd watch me. And before I know it, he'd hop across, grab the spoon, and he'd start doing it. Anything I was doing, he was going to do.
Where did you guys get a monkey?
My husband was somewhere we met a couple of young boys, and they were going to school. And the mother said she would not keep that monkey for him. You've had him, I think he was 1.5 years or 2 years old, quite young. And Ray says, oh God, I love that. So he brought the monkey home.
You just added it to...
And if you walk down the hallway, because our bedroom was at the back, he'd get down on top of the door and start banging the door. He wanted attention. And the minute you come down the hallway, he'd jump on the bed, start jumping up and down. If you went in the bathroom and got in the tub, he'd be right there with you.
How long did you guys have him?
About 4 years, maybe. Got sick, and they never really figured out what it was. It was something that I guess monkeys get from what they said. So I lost him then. He was fun. He got, because up there in the mobile home park, there were no, fences next to the places, and he'd come out and he'd look out the door like that from the bedroom, and he'd go outside, and one day he disappeared, and I went, Felix, where are you? And I'm calling, and all of a sudden I heard this the noise he made like he was laughing, and he was over one, and on that side, on the other street, everything off of the rooftop. That woman came over, she thanked me 4 or 5 times. Thank you for letting him come and put all that junk off my roof. The kids had thrown toys up there and all kinds of stuff. So he cleaned the top of the roof off and came back home. He was fun.
Did you have any other animals with that much of a personality?
No.
Felix was the only one.
Other than that, it was pug dogs.
Did you have kids at the same time that you had Felix? And what did they think about Dad bringing home a monkey? You had another child to deal with.
Yeah, but that was all right. They didn't care. They knew they were number one. Not the animals.
How big was Felix? One of those smaller monkeys?
Oh, yeah, about like that. He wasn't bad at all. But when he passed away, I got another one. I could not think of what she was. She was black with a little bit of white on her. She just sat in that cage. She wouldn't do anything. So when we got rid of the mobile home, I took her down to the zoo. So I don't know how long she lived, whether she's still there, I don't know.
What was her name?
I don't even remember, to be honest
How long did you guys have her?
I think we had her about a year before we sold the mobile home. Came back down here. This was our home originally, except for up there. 20-some years.
And how did you get the capital to buy a whole hotel from living in a mobile home over in Buellton to coming over to Santa Barbara and buying a whole hotel? How did that work?
I guess it's hard work,
Yeah,
putting money away.
good for you.
I don't think they were, I don't remember them being as demanding for money at that time as they are now. I think it was easier. But that was the easier part.
What would always bring you guys back here?
I guess we got through with everything up in Buellton, so we came back here. Just we had so many friends here, so we just decided to stay. My kids were here anyway, so we just decided to stay here.
And the road from the past has always been open the way it is now? Or did you have to go around? It was always open. Okay. Well, that's good. And so now you have 3 kids. You lost your son in '99. You have 3 daughters, and one lives in Solvang. One lives in Georgia, and the other lives in
Here.
Santa Barbara.
How many grandchildren do you have? Do you have
7.
any?
And 7 great-grandchildren. Unbelievable. One's already 21, and her sister's going to be 21 here this year.
Wait, 21-year-old great-grandchild? Okay, that's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
So a great-grandchild is possible sometime.
Yeah, they're in their 20s now, so you got to watch it.
Do they live here in Santa Barbara, or how many of your family? You have a lot of family here in Santa Barbara.
Well, the middle daughter is, I call her a babysitter. She works for Cottage Hospital in the kids' place, takes care of them. She's been there, I think, 15 or 16 years, something like that. And they're here. Mom and my great-grandkids are here too, so I see a lot of them. The youngest one lives in Solvang, and she works for the hospital up there. And I don't see them very often. But she just has 2. So. But my granddaughter that's in school to become a doctor has a little 1.5-year-old girl. It's keeping her busy between schooling and that.
So you do have a great.
No, just a great-grandchild.
Oh, okay. Where does she go to school?
Tennessee.
Okay.
And she's going up to some special place in Utah for a month. And I don't remember what the other... That's the only thing I know.
For her medical program?
Yes.
What does she want? What type of medicine does she want to practice?
I have no idea, to tell you the truth. I don't think she knows herself yet. Maybe when she does this individual places, that she'll make up her mind. And I kind of think she's just going to be a regular MD and forget it, no specialist. But it's interesting to, see him. Because with her husband not being able, because of him, in school himself, and they decided that she'd go off, and her mother's going to go with her, take care of the baby.
So your granddaughter that's in medical school has a husband who's from England, and he's going to school in Tennessee, and he can't leave.
He doesn't want to, and I don't know whether maybe he can't, I don't know. He just said he wasn't going to be able to go. So I kind of think maybe he can't go.
And so his wife and daughter and his wife's mother are going to go somewhere else?
They're going to
school?
Utah.
Okay.
No, they're going to Utah because she's through her regular basic school to be a doctor. Now she has to go these different places.
Oh, I see. So they'll all go together.
Yeah. So my daughter will be going with her to take care of the baby.
What's the most interesting part of seeing, like, your children and then their children and that whole, I don't know, how would you?
Succession.
It's just, I just look and I say, you got this kind of a family? No, it's fun to see, because I don't see them very often. The daughter that lives here, she's always checking on me to make sure everything's okay. But the rest of them I talk to, but as to really seeing them, I don't see them that often. Usually at Christmas time we all get together, which makes it nice.
When you say this kind of family, are you saying that they are more conservative or more wild?
They're just too busy. They just, taking their own families and keeping them going, and they all are working. So,
How's that different from when you were raising your children?
it really hasn't, because as I said, I dragged them to work with me until they got to be a school age.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'd give time to go get them out of school. But I think they're just so used to it.
Well, maybe that's part of the reason why they're so busy now, because you all were busy. Both parents were working in your family as you were raising them. That wasn't very common.
Do you know the son-in-law that lives here? He just had surgery. I don't know, something to do with his leg. He just had it the other day, and he came back home. He went to work for my husband, and I've been trying to think how many years. Bryant Jewelers,
Mm-hmm.
been the security down there.
Mm-hmm.
He just gave it up to get the surgery done. And that's how he got started, because we had that back in the 80s, I think it was.
Are you saying that you used to own Bryant Jewelers?
Not own it, we had the security there.
Oh, okay. That was one of your businesses. Oh my gosh.
How many businesses did you guys?
You name it, I've done it.
That's crazy.
It's fun though.
What was the funnest business, you think?
I like with the hotel, because you're meeting all these different people. And I do remember back in the 60s there was nothing open on Sunday to eat. None of the places were open. And they came to the Korea Hotel and begged me to open for Christmas Day. Where was that? A madhouse. And that was probably like somewhere between 65 and 66. And after that, everybody started opening up for Sundays. So see, I started something.
So we can be thankful. We can go out
Yeah.
for breakfast on
That's
Sunday, and we can
That's
thank you in Santa Barbara. I'll remember.
Thank you.
Oh dear.
So, I'm always curious, politically during that time, with all the stuff going on in the 60s and 70s, what was that like? Running all these businesses and just watching all this stuff going on, and like with the civil rights and women's rights, and
That's what I just kind of looked at him.
you didn't.
Trying to keep up my own home and taking the kids and this, that, and the other. I didn't pay much attention to what was going on. I thought it's going to happen anyway, so forget it.
Now, did you see differences in town in Santa Barbara with the civil rights movement? Did you see discrimination? Did you see the changes? What was it like?
I really haven't seen much difference.
Well, what about for people of color when you were first here and you could see how things were, how there was segregation in school?
There was a little bit, but very few in those years. It's changed a lot in the last 10, 15 years, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
More and more people are coming here, and I think everybody is trying to be nice now. They've learned that they're human, and that's it.
So there was some discrimination and.
Well, there is, no matter where you went.
Mm-hmm.
There's always somebody that didn't like it. But what can you do when you live in this town that's growing and growing and growing?
Mm-hmm.
You better be careful.
What's one of the biggest changes that you've seen, say socially speaking? Because you see the strong Latino culture here in town. It's been here for 9, 10, 11, 12 generations, and you see how it's still intact.
Yeah.
How has that changed over time? Was there always a sense of pride and culture for
I think there
Latino?
must have been because, of course, the population here now is terrific compared to what it was in the 50s and 60s.
Mm-hmm.
But some people resent it, and they say, how can they get in this country? They're illegal and they're all this, that. That's all you hear lately.
Mm-hmm.
Is the people that don't want anybody more here.
Mm-hmm.
But it's going to go back to what it was many years ago, I think.
What is that? What was that?
I don't know. Were people getting along better back then? Is that what you're saying?
I mean that all the people coming up from Mexico in those areas, they're trying to get back into what it used to be because they say it belongs to them.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
What about the African American community in Santa Barbara during that time?
You know, I never hear anything about it. So evidently, wherever they are, they're doing a good job.
I wonder if Santa Barbara was more separated from what was going on, because the civil rights movement was really big in the Los Angeles area.
Yeah.
It was really important. Some important things happened there. Here, maybe it was just too much of a smaller town.
And it was known as the wealthy town.
Was it a wealthy town?
I didn't think it was that any better verse than anybody else. But a lot of people say, oh, that's where the wealthy people live.
Mm-hmm.
And they say that's why people think about Santa Barbara. Because I'm sure, I think there were just as many wealthy people here as there were other places. I think.
What do you think you people of your generation would say, or what do they say about because now we have an African American president, and we've come so far from the time that you were first born to now. It's just amazing. If you went back in time and you said to back to when you were 20 years old or something like that, and someone said, guess what, we're going to have an African American president in your lifetime, and you're going to see not only one election but two, and this is going to happen in your lifetime. What would you say back then?
I just hope he did a good job.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And somebody else would say, well, we'll have to wait and see.
Oh my gosh.
It's hard nowadays, I think, because everybody appears to be fighting against everybody else. Or what you should be doing, what you shouldn't be doing.
So you feel like it was there's a lot more peace?
Yeah, before. Yeah.
What do you think is the difference that provided that then that's not existing now?
It's just the people, just the way they act anymore. It's just like, I read in the paper not too long ago about them raising these senators and all, but their salaries are going to raise them sky high, and everybody else is going to have to give up stuff. That isn't right.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody, it doesn't make any difference, to me anyway, if the guy, even with Obama, yeah, he needs more money because he does a lot of traveling and has to be presentable and all that. But some of these guys, I don't know. I mean, I don't think they need all these big the senators and all that stuff. They get, most of them get at least $35,000, I think, a year, don't they?
Probably like
Yeah.
235.
Yeah,
A lot more than that.
That was a pretty good thing at the time. Now look what they're getting.
Mm-hmm.
And they're still complaining. They want more.
Mm-hmm. But in general, people, because this was an interesting question that you asked. I mean, do you feel that people were just more polite to one another, say, 35, 40 years ago?
Oh, I think so.
And how?
It was just that they treated other people like they might be a relative or something. You know, right there. Do you need this? Hey, I've got it. Look on it. And then nowadays, oh, that's $50.
Now, do you feel like that was done within? Was there separation in that, or was it just, you know, if you're anybody type thing?
Just anybody, and it is everything out here got bigger as people kept coming out here. I think it got a little bit worse.
Hmm.
Maybe I'm wrong. Into my thoughts. All I can say is I'm glad I don't own anything anymore.
Why is that?
I've had enough of it. They keep me busy here.
Mm-hmm.
Mend this, can you do this?
What do you? So are you the famous one with the sewing machine? Oh wow! I have things for you to fix.
Sandy came back the other day. Think you could do this? Well, with hers, she's just putting some new curtains and stuff up, and I just hemming them for her. So that one's easy. Yeah, my sewing machine sits out on my table the whole time. It's always busy.
Mm. What is your? You have a dog now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Tell us about that.
I've always had a dog. I went when I lost the last dog, which was a pug dog. I said, that's it, no more. Well, I went about 2 years. I said, I gotta have a dog. So I went out to, gosh, what's that called? Out there in Toledo. Anyway, not the Pound, but the one next to it.
The Humane Society.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Went out there, and they had a big cage, and they had 3 dogs that looked like Buddy, about the same size, and 2 big dogs in there. And here, I thought, what's that poor little black thing over there? They had to put a fence up. He was so frightened of those 2 big dogs. But he was found on the freeway in Ventura. And Ventura sent him up here. So she said, well, go sit out there and I'll bring him out to you. He sat in my lap for an hour and 10 minutes, never moved a muscle. Just sat there and rested against me. I said, that's it. Taking him home. I did.
So, what aspect of companionship does pets provide that humans can't? Do you feel like?
Just getting them, when they jump on your lap or stuff, you know, they're trying to say how much you mean to them. And now, with humans, people say, ooh, don't like her, don't like him. That one's okay. It is. It's, listen to people talk is unbelievable. If they talk. Some of them have a hard time. Some of the new fellows find the one with the collar on his neck.
Mm-hmm.
Ted, is that his name?
Mm-hmm.
He finally, we got him in the exercise today, and he actually exercised with us.
Mm-hmm.
And he said he really enjoyed it. I guess he's coming back. So that was nice.
Yeah, he's originally from England. He's a funny guy.
But so far you don't hear much. You know, he doesn't say a whole lot.
Mm-hmm.
He'll if you say hi to him, he'll say, hi, how are you? And that's about it. But I thought, okay, that's a good break for him for the exercise. Maybe you get used to all these people. How come we have so many from England?
you said you're glad you don't own anything anymore. Would you advise that younger people strive to own things, or is that just...
It depends on the person. Because chances are, with it like me, if I didn't work in the hotels, they would have been, working extra hours because we needed somebody.
Mhm.
But I enjoyed it. I mean, I thought it was interesting, learning all these different things.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, the American dream is so traditional in the sense that we're all told that we should try to own something, a business or property. We think of ourselves as maybe needing to build our identity through ownership. Do you still think that that's true after owning more businesses than most people will ever?
No, because a lot of people don't even want to be bothered. Because it's something that you have to think about day in and day out.
Mm-hmm.
And if you need help, if somebody gets sick or something, you got to be able to go do it.
Mm-hmm.
As I said, luckily my 2 little girls, they were great. They just, one got in there, learned how to be a waitress, and the other one followed the maids around.
Free labor.
Yeah.
Hallelujah.
What are 2 aspects you think it takes to own something? Like, just the main things.
It's just, you have to tell yourself that you're going to be very busy. You don't know when, and you don't know how. But you're going to have to be that way. And you have to learn, if you see somebody's working for you that's not doing their job or doing the wrong thing, out the door they go.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I did at the Marmonti. I caught him drinking one night. I said, that's it. Take your bottle. Get out of here. I'll send you your paycheck. I never saw him after that. And I had to be the bartender until I got somebody else. But he just thought, oh boy, I can go in. Because we had a room, closet that was probably as wide as this from about here and that long, that we put all the supplies in the back. And that's what he'd do. He'd serve everybody, and there was nobody coming up to the bar right away. He'd go in there. That's how I found him.
Was it ever... I'm assuming that you had to fire a lot of people.
No.
No.
Mm-mm.
So not many. Did you ever feel bad about it, or?
That's the only one I felt bad for. He was a real nice fellow, but he just couldn't hold back on his drinking.
Hmm.
What was funny is I moved in here, 6.5 years ago, and I met this fellow, and I thought, he's nice, that's okay. And I found out later on, he worked at the Korea Hotel right after I sold it.
So he must have worked with some of the employees that you had hired.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
He was shocked, and I was. And I didn't recognize him at first. And that was kind of interesting. He passed away about a year or so ago. That was kind of interesting.
So the Korea Hotel became a hotel for seniors much after you sold the hotel. And then when the Korea Hotel was demolished, those people who were living there, really, this is the replacement here at Garden Court. It's the replacement for the Korea Hotel.
I think so.
Yeah, we still have furniture from the Korea Hotel. That dining table's from the Korea Hotel.
Oh my goodness.
How does it feel to
I didn't know that.
You didn't know? You sit there every day. That table was always there. It was always there. You probably sat at it
I probably did,
a
yeah.
long time ago. What does it feel like to have that for full circle coming back around?
To me, it's kind of interesting bringing up. It's like when Joe said, "Oh yeah," he says, "Okay, I see." I sold Korea when, but he came in the year after I sold it.
Mm-hmm.
It was interesting.
Did you have seniors staying there then, or it was just people,
No,
tourists?
we had quite a few seniors.
Oh, you did?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Mostly women
Mm-hmm.
that had been widowed and they didn't want to be by themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So it was interesting.
Mm-hmm.
What was the not so fun part of owning hotels and businesses?
It's hard on you.
Mm.
Because particularly as my kids were little, it was harder for me because I had to take them with me until they got to go to school. And it's just, you're busy all the time, but it isn't doing what you want to do.
How did you manage that?
I don't know, and I'm still here. And even at my age, I'm still here. And if I follow my sister, I'll keep on going. She just turned, she will be 88 next month.
88? Oh my goodness. And she lives down in
Santa
Monica area. Okay.
They lived up on the hillside when they had that awful fire years ago.
Oh yeah.
And my sister says, "Okay, Mom, let's get out of here." She took her down. So she and my mother lived there for a long time. My mother passed away. Whenever that was, 88, I think. I don't remember.
She must have felt the earthquake in 97.
Mm-hmm.
That was felt a lot in Santa Monica.
Through the years, what have you seen change the most?
Just everything, really. I think it's because everything is growing bigger. We're getting more people here. The attitudes are changing. And I like to say sometimes to people, if you don't like it, go home. I'm bad.
Would you say that, to follow up with that question, that's a really good question, what would you say we're overall better off, maybe more secure with our infrastructure, say roads and buildings and healthcare, or worse off?
Well, I think a lot of it is good, but people are saying no because they don't get what they want. It's not what's good for them, it's what they want.
Do they want more than they had before?
Oh, definitely. A lot of them do. A lot of them think, hey, I'm so-and-so, and they want this.
So, do you believe things have improved?
In some areas probably have, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What areas do you see improvement?
I don't know, it's just the attitude of some people makes you feel better about everything. I don't know.
Because even in the last 30 years, I can see the town has improved a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just wondering what your impression is overall, because it seems like everywhere you look, things are more organized. There seems to be more options for education.
Oh yeah, there is a lot more. Yeah.
What about being a woman?
It's still hard on you at times. It depends on which way you go, what you're going to do. Makes a big difference.
Because when you were born, I'm trying to think of the vote, the year that women got the vote was it 26? I'm not sure. What's your experience about being, there was a lot of barriers for women as you were growing up. But it sounds like you didn't care.
No, I was too busy.
Too busy working like most women didn't work.
And I've got a problem.
Is it time to?
It's 3 o'clock, not only that, I gotta go.
Yeah. Well, you've been terrific. You have been wonderful.
Well, it's been fun, I'll tell you.
So many interesting stories. Thank you so much.
My fun stories are with the animals.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I don't.
Felix sounds amazing.
Yeah.
I don't
It
think.
was funny. If I thought I could have brought pictures of Felix. hanging
Well,
on.
we do want
You
to see
still
him.
can.
Yeah, we do want to see him. Thank you so much, Phyllis.
Okay.
It's awesome.
It was nice to meet you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh. That's great. She's funny.